Welcome to Aviation Legislator. Today we will discuss about another chapter of CRM, Subpart B. But before that, we should understand about operator. Okay, if you understand properly the what type of operators available in India and what are the service they are providing and according to which rule they are approved, you will understand the operator's responsibilities fully in a clear way. Okay, so the first type of operator we talk about is scheduled air transport operator. What? Scheduled air transport operator. First one is this type of air transport operator providing air transport service. What it provides? This operator provides air transport service to passengers or cargo. This type of operator providing transport service through air as per a schedule, which schedule is approved by DGCA on behalf of central government. Okay, so this type of air transport services approved under rule number 134 of the aircraft rules 1937. So in accordance with aircraft rules 1937 rule number 134, this type of scheduled air transport service operators approve, and if they approve they get air operator certificate, shortly AOC. If an operator is given by AOC by DGCA on behalf of central government, means that's a scheduled air transport service. That's a scheduled air transport service means they also given a schedule. Accordance with that schedule, that operator providing air transport service. Here you should remember these scheduled air transport service operators providing transport service only in accordance with a approved schedule, okay, which is given by DGC. And why they are providing a transport service? Because they earn profit. They earn profit. So you can call this type of operators as a commercial air transport operators also. Okay. So one first type of operator you get, that was scheduled air transport service provider, yeah, scheduled air transport service operator. Okay, they approve under rule number 134. This type of operators, they may conducted flights under inside of domestic, okay, may conduct their flights internationally. Okay, another type of operator, that is scheduled commuter air transport operator. Another one is scheduled commuter air transport operator. This type of operator, this type of scheduled air transport service operator is a very recent. This type of operator came in India in recent years, that is in National Civil Aviation Policy in 2016. In accordance with National Civil Aviation Policy in 2016, this type of air transport service providers came in recent years. Okay, why this type of scheduled commuter air transport service came in recent years? Because to promote, to enhance the regional connectivity, means your local cities, how you connect your local cities, how you provide air transport service to your passengers or cargo in a quick way. Okay, to connect your regional connectivity, to enhance your regional connectivity. This type of air transport service providers came in aviation field. Okay, this is also not different from the previous one, but this is also a scheduled air transport service, but we call it as a scheduled commuter air transport service. But the first one is scheduled air transport service, but this one is scheduled commuter air transport service. Commuter we added because this is specially operate under regional cities. This type of air transport service providers operate under inside of country, not outside of country. Again, there is some route limitations for this type of operators. Okay, but this type of operators also operate their air transport service under a schedule, in accordance with a schedule. Here is the same thing. This type of air transport operators also approved under rule number 134 of aircraft rules 1937. Okay, so only the difference is this type of scheduled commuter air transport operators operate inside the country, and this type of scheduled air transport operators or commercial air transport operators operate their aircraft fleet, provide the air transport service inside of India or outside of India. Okay, both the type of air transport operators are commercial air transport operators, nothing is different. But here we added commuter because this type of air transport operators operate their fleet, provide the air transport service only inside of India. Okay, inside the country to enhance the regional connectivity, and they follow the national civil aviation policy. For example, our Udan scheme. Okay, so this is scheduled air transport service. You should remember that in India there are two types of scheduled air transport services. One is scheduled air transport service provider. Okay, another one is scheduled commuter air transport service provider. Okay, another one is non-scheduled air transport operator, non-scheduled operator. Okay, you can call it as a non-scheduled operator or non-scheduled air transport operator. Okay, this type of non-scheduled operators approve themselves under, in accordance with rule number 134A. Okay, the scheduled air transport service provider, scheduled commuter air transport providers approve under rule number 134, but the non-scheduled air transport operators approve under rule number 134A of the aircraft rules 1937. This type of operators, to operate their fleet, they took permit from central government. Okay, they took permit from DGCA on behalf of central government, and they took AOP for operating their fleet. Okay, air operator permit. They need air operator permit. But in previous cases, we seen scheduled air transport operators, they need air operator certificate. But in the case of non-scheduled operators, they need air operators permit. Okay, this type of air transport service provider, this type of air transport operators provide the air transport service, but not accordance with the schedule. Not accordance with the schedule. That's why we call this type of operators as a non-scheduled air transport operators. Okay, you already know there are lot of persons who are having their personal aircrafts, they are also transferring their aircraft, they are also using their aircraft to transport themselves, means passengers, from one place to another place. The- no, but not in accordance with a schedule. That's why we call them as a non-scheduled air transport operators. There are many examples. For example, many chartered flights are there. They also operate they also operate in India, but not in accordance with a schedule. That's why we call them as a non-scheduled air transport operators. Okay, this is a non-scheduled. Another type of you will get, that is commercial, but they are not providing air transport, they are providing specialized operations services. For example, for shooting a movie, for example firefighting, for example aerial work. Okay, there are many tasks, those tasks are not considered as air transport, but for those tasks an aircraft is needed. That's why if someone is providing his or her aircraft to another person, okay, to complete those specialized operations, and on behalf of that aircraft, if that person or that organization taking money, okay, then we call that type of operators are commercially specialized operations. But this type operators also come under non-scheduled a transport, non-scheduled operators, but we can't call these type of operators as commercially a transport operator, we call these as a commercially specialized operators. Okay, so you should remember in India there are two types of scheduled air transport service provider, air transport operator. One is scheduled air transport operator, another one is scheduled commuter air transport operator, another one is non-scheduled air transport service provider, and another one is non-scheduled commercial specialized operations or operator. Okay, you got four types of operators in India. Here I prepared a table. Okay, this one is scheduled air transport service operator. Okay, what type of service this operator providing? Air transportation service, means transferring passengers or cargo from one place to another place as per a schedule and earning profit. That's why we call this operator as a scheduled air transport service provider or commercial scheduled air transport service provider or commercial air transport operator. Okay, you got different types of names in different sphere, but if you understand what the operator providing, what type of service that operator providing, and if that operator is working as per a schedule, okay, then we call that operator as a scheduled air transport operator. If an operator providing transport service, and if that operator operates their fleet as per a schedule, then we call them as a scheduled air transport operator. Okay, another one is, I already told you, scheduled commuter, means this is also a scheduled air transport service provider, but only for regional provider, regional connections. Okay, to enhance regional connections. So this type of scheduled commuter air transport service provider also, what type of service this provides? This operator, this also provides, this operator also provides air transport service and operates their fleet as per schedule. But in case of non-scheduled operators, they may be provide air transport service. They may also provide air transport service, but not in accordance with a schedule, not as per a schedule. That's why we call them as a non-scheduled air transport operator. Another type of non-scheduled operators are non-scheduled commercially specialized operations. I already explained you this. This type of operation may be different type of operation, but not air transport okay. This type of operator, commercially specialized operators, provide different types of aerial work, movie shooting, patrolling, okay, different types of services, but not air transport service. Okay, that's why we call them as a this type of operator as a commercially specialized operators. This type of operators also came under non-scheduled operators. That's because they not operate their fleet as per schedule. Okay, they not operate their fleet as per schedule. So before studying CRM subpart B, responsibilities of the operator, you should understand these four types of air transport operators. One is scheduled air transport service provider, or scheduled air transport service provider, or scheduled air transport operator. Another one is scheduled commuter air transport operator, or scheduled commuter air transport service provider. Okay, last one is non-scheduled. In non-scheduled, there are two types. One is non-scheduled air transport provider, non-scheduled commercially specialized operations. Okay, so you should understand these type of operators available in India. Now, we already studied about the responsibility of owner in last class, in last video. But in this video, we will understand the responsibility of operator. Operator means schedule 11. Schedule 11 means scheduled air transport service provider. Okay, commercial air transport operators. So the operator's responsibility is keep the aircraft in a continuing airworthiness state. Remember, here the operator's responsibility is to keep the aircraft in a continuing airworthiness state. Here DGCA mentioned the responsibility, but who keep the aircraft in a continuing airworthiness state? Who monitor, who manage the continuing airworthiness of the aircraft in a continuing airworthiness state or not? That is the continuing airworthiness management organization. That is the continuing airworthiness management organization. So one operator needs a CAMO approval, because DGCA given the responsibility. Which responsibility? Continuing airworthiness responsibility to operator, but operator is not eligible to monitor or manage the continuing airworthiness of an aircraft. To manage or monitor the continuing airworthiness, to maintain continuing airworthiness of the aircraft, operator needs a organization, that is CAMO. In case of schedule 11 or schedule air transport service provider, that operator should take air operator certificate plus an approval of CAMO, organization also. And in this case, that CAMO approval is part of that air operator's certificate. In this case, the approval taken by operator as a continuing airworthiness management organization. So CAMO organization's approval is the part of air operator certificate. Means that air operator certificate directly depends on CAMO's approval, and CAMO organization's approval directly depends on AOC. If that operator fails to maintain the CAMO organization's approval, then AOC also cancelled by DGCA automatically. If that operator fails to comply with the air operator certificate requirements, then also DGCA cancel the CAMO organization's approval. Okay, so for operator, DGCA given the responsibility of continuing airworthiness. But you should notice here, to maintain the continuing airworthiness, manage the continuing airworthiness, CAMO needs operator needs CAMO organization. Operator needs CAMO organizations. And another condition was mentioned, that is the CAMO's organization's approval is the part of air operator certificate. Okay, that is the inside part of air operator certificate. Means without, if operator is not having the CAMO organization approval, that operator is not given AOC by DGCA. DGCA will not permit that air operator, scheduled air transport service provider, will not get the AOC if that operator is not having CAMO approval, a valid CAMO approval. But in the case of scheduled commuter air transport service operators, if that scheduled commuter air transport operators having some non-complex aircrafts, having some non-complex motor powered aircraft or helicopter, then there is a chance for that operator can give continuing airworthiness tasks to another CAMO in a contract. Means if that scheduled commuter operator, this is only applicable for which type of air transport operators? Scheduled commuter air transport operators, not scheduled air transport operators. Okay, you should remember this. So in the case of scheduled commuter air transport operators, if that scheduled commuter operators having some non-complex motor powered aircraft, then that operator may contract to another CAMO, another independently approved CAMO, what? Some continuing airworthiness task as in contract. Okay, this is permitted. Okay, this is the case, this is an exemption for scheduled commuter operators. But if that scheduled commuter operators, if that scheduled commuter operators, if having some complex motor powered aircraft, then this permission is not given to that operator to contract. Okay, it is only for non-complex motor powered aircraft. If that scheduled commuter operator is having only non-complex motor powered aircraft, then only that operator is permitted to contract the continuing airworthiness task to another CAMO. Okay, this means the operator's responsibility is to maintain the aircraft in a continuing airworthiness state. Responsibility. But to fulfill that responsibility, that operator needs a CAMO organization. Okay, in service, in scheduled air transport service, operator needs a CAMO approval, which is the part of AOC. Okay, another type of organization approval is maintenance organization approval. To keep the aircraft in a airworthy condition, to keep the aircraft of that operator in a airworthy condition, that operator needs a maintenance organization approval, that is the CR 145. Why? Because that schedule 11 air transport operator is a scheduled air transport operator. Schedule 11 air transport operator is a scheduled air transport operator or a commercial air transport operator. That's why this type of operator needs a maintenance organization as per CR 145. Okay, so this operator should take a CR 145 approval for their maintenance organization or may contract the maintenance organization up. Okay, contract the maintenance task to another CR 145 maintenance organization. This means that operator needs a KMO approval and needs a maintenance organization approval. In every case this happens. If you understand this point, if you understand this point, every operator needs a KMO to fulfill the continuing airworthiness management, and every operator needs a maintenance organization approval. Depends on their aircraft, what type of operator and what type of aircraft that operator using. Well, depending upon the aircrafts that operator using, a maintenance organization approval depends. Okay, but in the case of commercial air transport operator, scheduled air transport operator, that operator needs a CR 145 maintenance organization approval and a independent, sorry, and a KEM organization approval, which is the part of that operator's AOC. Okay, here I prepared something for you. DGCA given the responsibility. DGCA mentions the responsibility of continuing airworthiness for the owner or operator in CRM subpart B. That's why to fulfill those requirements, to comply those responsibilities mentioned in CRM subpart B, operator takes the CRM subpart G KMO approval and operator takes the maintenance organization approval as per CR 145 or CRM subpart F. Okay, CRM subpart G KMO organization implements the or monitors or manages the continuing airworthiness open aircraft, and the maintenance organization keeps the aircraft in a airworthy or airworthiness state. Okay, this is clear in this picture. Okay, DGCA mentioned all the responsibilities in subpart B for owner or operator. Remember this thing. If you understand this thing, you will independently study that CRM subpart B. Okay, nothing is difficult. Okay, DGCA mentioned responsibilities in subpart B for owner or operator. What responsibility? Keep the aircraft in a continuing airworthiness state. Keep the aircraft in a continuing airworthiness state. But to comply that responsibility, okay, to comply with that responsibility, owner or operator needs a KEM organization approval, a approved maintenance organization approval. Maintenance organization approval that only keep the aircraft in a airworthiness state. Only keep the aircraft in a airworthiness state by doing some task, that is defect rectification, doing the maintenance, completing the maintenance as per AMP, and implementing the AD, OD, airworthiness directive, operational directive, etc. Okay, mandatory modifications. Another one is modifications and repairs. Maintenance organization is eligible for completing these tasks, but fulfilling the other tasks, pre-flight inspection, embodiment policy preparation. Okay, I already prepared a video about these tasks in previous lessons. Okay, you should see that video. Okay, so KMO manages, monitors all these tasks completing on aircraft on time or not. This is the continuing airworthiness management. Okay, that's why owner or operator needs KM organization approval. But to keep the aircraft in a airworthiness state, that owner or operator needs a maintenance organization. Okay, owner or operator needs a maintenance organization approval, because to keep the aircraft in a airworthiness state. But keep the aircraft in a continuing airworthiness state, that owner or operator needs a KMO organization approval. Okay, for this class, this is sufficient. If you understand this much, you will independently study the CRM subpart B. Okay, if you get any doubt, you should ask me in a comment section. Okay, I will answer. But before studying this, you should understand the different types of operators. Okay, what the service they providing, is they are working as per a schedule or not. You should understand. If you understand this much, you will understand the operators, different type of operators, different responsibilities, you will understand clearly. Another thing, every operator needs a KMO approval, needs a maintenance organization approval. Okay, what type of maintenance organization approval they need, that depends on what type of aircraft they are using, and what type of operator they are. Okay, what type of operator they are and what type of aircraft they using, upon that this depends what type of maintenance organization they need. Okay, another thing is KMO approval. In the schedule A transport operator, KMO approval is must for that schedule A transport operator. But in some different type of operators, KMO approval may be contracted by the operator. Okay, continuing airworthiness tasks may be contracted by that owner or operator to another independent KMO. But in the case of schedule A transport service operator, that KMO approval not contracted. Continuing airworthiness tasks, continuing airworthiness management tasks, continuing airworthiness management functions cannot be contracted. That operator, in the case of schedule A transport service operator, that operator must approve as a KMO, and that KMO's approval must be a part of AOC. This is the condition in case of scheduled air transport operator, commercial air transport operator who approve under schedule 11, rule number 134. Okay, so if you get any doubt, you should ask me in comment section. Okay, I will answer. If you understand this much, you will understand the subpart B totally in a clear cut way. Okay, thank you all of you. You should subscribe and watch the full video and like my